Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, and welcome to the third video on our object-oriented programming in JavaScript. And what I want to do now, we created all these different classes. We don't really need all of this right now. So I'm going to get rid of drummer and singer. You guys saw inheritance, and you guys learned about inheritance and how that works. Okay, and again, the reason why you want inheritance is so that way you can create variations. You don't want to just create one person class with a huge amount of methods and properties, because that's just a waste of space, and you're creating room where suddenly someone uses a singer to do drumming and a drummer to do singing, and it gets confusing. Okay, and also it allows you to not have to repeat yourself as you create objects. You can, when you need to create a new class for a special situation, you only have to create the new stuff, and that's sort of the benefit of it. So inheritance is nice in that regard, and we'll come back to some of the downsides of inheritance in a later video. In this video, what I want to talk about is static methods. Static methods and static properties are basically properties that are not of the instance. So Bob, so Sting, Steve, Bob, they wouldn't get these methods or properties. This is something of like all persons. Okay, so for example, let's say I wanted to create a count of all persons that exist. Okay, what I might do is I'll create a static property called static people. Okay, and the static property is an array. Okay, and then basically what I want is that every time we create a new person, we're going to push them into that people array. So person dot people dot push this. So we're going to push this person. Okay, so that we have an array of people. And then I want to say static called people count. It would equal a function that returns person dot people dot person dot people dot length. And let me just think about that. Just kind of equal, and that should work. Okay, cool. So basically what it's going to do is going to grab this people array and give me the length, so I know how many people I've created so far. Okay, because this people array doesn't belong to each individual person, it belongs to the class of person. So the prototype object will have these two things accessible to it. Okay, so save. So now if I create two people, so we'll say const Bob equals, or actually let's create just const Bob equals a new person named Bob, and const Steve equals a new person named Steve. And now if I do person dot people count, so notice I'm not calling it on Bob. I'm not saying Bob dot people count. I'm not saying Steve dot people count. I'm saying person dot people count. Static methods belong to the class, not the instance of the class. And if I use that, that should give me back two people. That should give me back the number 2 if I did it all right. Okay, which, well, it did. I just have to actually log the results. So let's wrap that in a console log so we can cancel log the return value. Save. 2. Because basically what happened is that every time the constructor got called, we pushed someone into this people array, which belongs to person, and then we have a function that person has that returns the count of what's in that array. So we can see how many people we've created so far. Okay, so that's what static properties and methods are. Basically, you just put the word static in front of it, and going forward, it belongs to the class, not the instance. Bob and Steve are instances of person. Okay, when I created a new person, I'm instantiating Bob. That's the verb, the term you use. I'm instantiating an object. Cool. So that is the story with static methods and properties. I'll see you guys in the next video. In the next video, we'll talk about private properties and methods. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.